Hello, my friends. Today, we are going to talk about how to avoid these 3 DNA mistakes that can ruin your family tree. You've done it. You spit in the tube, sealed it up, and sent your DNA off to a lab. Weeks go by, and then bingo, an email lands in your inbox. You open it, and there it is. It's a vibrant, colorful map that promises to tell you exactly who you are and where you come from. And next to it is a list of hundreds of, maybe thousands of people the testing company calls your relatives. It feels like you're just one click away from uncovering every secret your ancestors ever kept. But hold on. Before you start redrawing your family tree, and definitely before you disown your 3rd cousin to make room for that Viking royalty you just discovered, what if I told you that 3 simple, incredibly common mistakes could send you down a completely wrong path? What if the very tools you're using to build your family tree are actually tricking you into attaching yourself to the wrong family? As a professional genealogist, I have seen the same heartbreaking errors derail years of research, time and time again. People get excited by the promise of DNA, make these critical missteps, and end up with a family tree that is, for all intents and purposes, a work of fiction. Today, we're going to talk about these 3 common DNA mistakes that can absolutely wreck your genealogy. More importantly, I am going to show you the strategies and the mindset you need to avoid them, making sure the family story you build is the one that's actually yours. Today, on Trace Your New England Roots. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, taking DNA matches at face value. All right, so let's tackle this one first, and maybe the most tempting mistake, taking your DNA matches at face value. You open your results, and the site tells you, here's John Smith. He is your predicted 2nd cousin. Your first thought is probably, awesome, we must share great-grandparents. And I'll just need to find where his tree connects to mine. And right there, you've already made the mistake. Here's the truth you need to internalize. A DNA company's relationship prediction is not a fact. It's an estimate. It's a very educated guess based on one single piece of data, the amount of DNA you share, which is measured in something called centimorgans. Think of it this way. Imagine you meet someone and find out you both grew up in the same small town. That's a great clue that you might know the same people. That's a reasonable assumption. But it doesn't prove anything. You could have gone to different schools, lived on opposite sides of town. You may have been born 20 years apart from each other. You need more information. Shared centimorgans are just like that. They're shared. It's like a shared hometown. It's a fantastic starting point, but it's not the final answer. The testing companies, they play the odds. For a certain amount of shared DNA, like 200 centimorgans, the most likely relationship is a second cousin. But it could also be a first cousin once removed, or a half-great aunt, and a bunch of other things. The companies simplify this to be user-friendly, but as a family historian, you can't afford to accept that simplification. You have to be the one who looks closer. Ignoring all the other possibilities is like being a detective finding one footprint at a crime scene and declaring the case solved. I once had a client, we'll call her Sarah, who was adopted and trying to find her birth family. She was over the moon to find a match predicted as a first cousin, a guy we'll call Mark. And Mark had a detailed, well-researched family tree. Sarah quickly saw that Mark's dad had only one brother, Uncle David, who lived in the right city at the right time. The conclusion seemed obvious, that David must be her biological father. Sarah spent months researching David's life. She built out his entire family, found his friends, learned his life story, and she was becoming emotionally connected to this person, to this man as her father. But something felt off to me. The amount of DNA she shared with Mark, while in the range for first cousins, it was on the low side. It could also fit other relationships. This is where we get to the solution. You have to look beyond the prediction and use the tools of a genetic genealogist. The best one you have is your shared matches list. A shared match is someone who is a match to both you and the person you're looking at. It's the genetic version of finding out you and that person from your hometown actually had the same third grade teacher. It proves your connection is through the same family line. So I had Sarah look at the matches she shared with Mark. Then we did the real work. We started building the family trees of these shared matches, hunting for a common ancestral couple. And as we did, a pattern started to emerge. Again and again, the shared matches all descended from Mark's mom's grandparents, not his dad's side, where Uncle David was. The evidence was clear. Sarah's connection to Mark was through his mother's family. So what did that mean? Well, we went back to the centimorgan number. The amount of DNA they shared was also perfect for half first cousins, meaning they only shared one grandparent, not two. So with this new theory, we looked again against Mark's maternal family tree. His mother had a younger brother who hadn't even been on our radar. A little old school genealogy newspaper archives, public records showed that this younger brother had been in Sarah's birth city at the exact time she was conceived. He was her father. Sarah had spent 6 months building a beautiful, elaborate family history that simply wasn't hers. It was an emotional nightmare, and it was totally avoidable. The mistake was stopping at the company's guess. The solution was to use shared matches to confirm the family line. So how do you avoid this? Well, first, always look at the number of shared centimorgans, not just the company's label. Use a tool like the Shared CM project on the DNA Painter website to see the full list of possible relationships for that number. It really is an eye-opener. Second, your shared matches list is your best friend. Live there. When you find an interesting match, the first thing you should do is see who else you have in common. This confirms you're all fishing in the same genetic pond. And third, for really important connections, you can use a technique called triangulation. Well, yes, it sounds fancy, but it's simple. If you match A and B all share the exact same piece of DNA, you must have inherited it from a single common ancestor. Third-party tools like GED Match can help with this. It's the gold standard for proving a connection. And please folks, please never assume a weird match is a lab error. It's far more likely that there was a mix-up at home, like a mom and a daughter swapping vials, or maybe a hidden family secret. The DNA is almost always right. It's our first interpretation that's often wrong. All right, before we get to the second massive mistake that people make, if you're finding this video useful and you're serious about building a family tree that's accurate, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe button. It tells YouTube you want more videos just like this, and it helps other family historians find the channel. So now let's talk about the part of the DNA test that causes the most confusion, and that is mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is over-relying on ethnicity estimates. Now, for the second big pitfall, and this is the one that causes the most drama, is putting way too much faith in your ethnicity estimate. You know, it's the colorful pie chart the testing companies put front and center. It's what they sell you on, the promise of finding exotic roots. The problem is, your ethnicity estimate is the least reliable and most speculative part of your entire DNA test. Treating it like gospel can absolutely ruin your research. So why is it so wiggly? It's all about how they're made. The testing company compares your DNA to what's called a reference panel, which is a collection of DNA from modern people who, on paper, have deep roots in one specific place. The company's computer then looks at your DNA and says, okay, this piece of your DNA looks a lot like the DNA in our Italian reference group. And this other piece looks a lot like our Scottish reference group. See the wiggle words there? Looks like and reference group. This whole process has 3 huge limitations. First, this reference panel is everything. If a company has a huge panel for Irish ancestry, their guess for that region might be pretty decent. But if their panel for, say, a specific region in Africa is small, the estimate is going to be a lot fuzzier. This has historically been a major issue for people with non-European ancestry because the databases were built with a heavy heavy European bias. Second, different companies use different panels and different math, different algorithms. And that's why you can test with one company and get 30% Scandinavian, then upload to another and only see 15%. And then also in addition, 15% Northwestern Europe. Your DNA didn't change. The comparison group and the algorithm did. It's like asking two different people to describe the same painting. They'll use different words, even though the art is the same. And third, and this is the big one, folks, these estimates are not tied to a specific time, such as England and Northwestern Europe. This doesn't mean you had an ancestor in London in 1750. What it does mean is it means your DNA shares patterns with modern people who reside in that region, whose own ancestors moved around a lot. National borders are new. DNA is ancient. The biggest mistake is when people either panic or go on a wild goose chase based on these percentages. I see it all the time. A client has a cherished family story about a Native American great-grandmother. We've talked about this Cherokee princess scenario in my other videos. The results come back 0% Indigenous Americans. This immediate reaction is both confusion and even betrayal. So does this mean the story was a lie? Not at all. The ancestor just might be too far back for you to have an inherited, detectable amount of their DNA. Or the algorithm might have misread the DNA you did inherit, and it lumped it into a neighboring region. The ethnicity estimate alone can't prove or disprove that family story. On the other hand, people can see an unexpected 2% from, say, Sardinia, and suddenly they're sure they're descended from a Roman legionary, completely ignoring the 10 generations of well-documented English farmers in their family tree. They start chasing a ghost based on statistical noise. So how are you supposed to use your ethnicity estimate? Well, you treat it as a hint, not as a history lesson. Here's a quick guide. First, look at continents, not counties. If your entire known family is, say, from Japan, and your estimate is 90% Japanese, that's a pretty good confirmation. But if it's 97% Japanese and, say, 3% Korean, don't obsess over the 3% small percentages that are often just noise or reflect ancient migrations from thousands of years ago. Second, if you're serious about this, test with multiple companies or upload your raw data to other sites. When you compare 2 or 3 different estimates, you'll see a consensus emerge. One says German, another says French, and a third says Northwestern Europe. They're all pointing to the same general part of the world. That's the real clue. And this is the most important part. Use your ethnicity estimate together with your DNA match list. Let's go back to that unexpected 2% in Sardinia. If that is a real recent ancestor, then you must have DNA matches who are also Sardinian. Go to your match list. Search for people born in Sardinia or who have it in their trees. If you find a whole cluster of cousins who trace back to the same town, now you've got something. The ethnicity estimate was the tip, but the DNA matches are the evidence. Finally, always let your paper trail guide you. If you have a rock-solid tree going back 200 years in Ireland and your estimate says 95% Irish, then great. If it says 50% Irish and 45% Norwegian, that doesn't mean your documents are wrong. It probably means your Irish ancestors were from an area with a heavy Viking settlement 1,000 years ago. It's a cool historical footnote, but it doesn't change your recent family tree. Don't throw away good research because of a surprising percentage. Mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is failing to integrate DNA with traditional research. This leads us to our third and most critical mistake: failing to combine your DNA evidence with old school document-based research. People usually fall into one of two traps. You either have the traditional genealogists who are skeptical of DNA and stick only to paper records, and then you have the newcomers who think their DNA match list is a magic answer key that lets them skip all the dusty paperwork. It's like having a cheat sheet, they think. Both are wrong. The real breakthroughs happen when these two worlds meet. DNA by itself can't build your family tree. It can hand you a giant list of possible relatives, but it won't tell you how you're related. It gives you the who, but not the how, when, or where. A DNA match list is without documents. It's just a list of names. On the flip side, a family tree that is built only on documents can have hidden errors, like two guys with the same name getting mixed up, or perhaps there may have been a secret adoption that gets passed down for generations. The gold standard in genealogy is to build a solid case. You need to do a thorough search, use good sources, and make sure different types of evidence all point to the same conclusion. Now, today, DNA is one of the most powerful pieces of evidence we have. Ignoring it is like a detective refusing to look at fingerprints. But relying only on this is trying to get a conviction with only a fingerprint without a motive or a timeline or placing the person at the scene. You need both. Here's a classic example. A researcher, a genealogist, we'll call him Tom, gets his results and finds a match with a beautiful family tree going back to the 1600s. Tom sees his own Miller surname in this match's tree. He's thrilled, and he just copies and pastes that entire Miller branch into his own tree, adding hundreds of people in a single afternoon. He feels like he just won the genealogy library. The problem with this is that his match's Miller line was totally wrong, based on a decades-old mistake that confused two men who were named John Miller who lived in the same county. Now, Tom has copied that massive error into his own family tree, and even worse, his tree is public, and a dozen other researchers see his connection to that same DNA match and copies his tree. The mistake spreads like a virus, and he didn't just mess up his own genealogy, he's now helping other people mess up theirs, all because he didn't do the work to verify the connection with documents. So What's the right way to do this? The right way to do this is you have to create a cycle of discovery. Step 1, start with the DNA clue. You have a mystery match. Based on the centimorgans and shared matches, you form a theory. I think this person, Jane, and I are second cousins through our great-grandparents, John and Mary Smith. Step 2, build a tree for your match. This is non-negotiable. You can't connect yourself to a person. You have to connect yourself to their family tree. Use public records to build out Jane's tree back a few generations. Don't just trust her online tree. So go looking for those birth records, the marriage records, the death records, the baptisms, all of that to tie this person to yourself and verify it. Step 3, look for the intersection. Now that you have 2 documented trees, yours and the one you built for Jane, compare them. Look for that common couple, John and Mary Smith. Ask yourself, do the names, dates, and places line up? Did they have one child who was your grandparent and another who was Jane's? Step 4, prove it with documents. This is where the paper trail is king. We've mentioned this. Find the birth certificate for your grandparent that names John and Mary. Find the birth certificate for Jane, Jane's grandparent, naming the same John and Mary. Find them in census records that proves that they were living together at the time. The DNA told you there was a connection, but the documents prove exactly what that connection is. This works the other way too. Let's say your paper trail says your great-grandfather was William Johnson. If that's true, you should have DNA matches with other descendants of William. If you find dozens of matches who all descend from his brothers and sisters, you've just used DNA to prove your paper trail is correct. But what if you find 0 matches that lead to William Johnson? What if instead you find a big group of close matches who all descended from a totally different person? Say his name is George Baker, who lived in the same town. That's a giant red flag. That is your DNA shouting at you that your paper trail is wrong, and that an adoption or a misattributed paternity event likely happened. The documents tell one story, but the DNA reveals the biological truth. Your job as a genealogist is to investigate that conflict and figure out what really happened. So these are the 3 big mistakes. Taking relationship predictions as gospel, treating ethnicity estimates as fact, and not merging DNA with traditional research. The key to avoiding all of them is a shift in how you think how to become a detective, not just a collector of names. A relationship prediction is only a lead. An ethnicity map is a hint about where your ancestors might have been. And a DNA match is the start of an investigation, not the end. Be critical, be curious, and be thorough. Look at the full range of centimorgan possibilities. Live in your shared matches list and build every single branch of your tree on the twin pillars of genetic and documentary proof. Your family story is a precious legacy, and it deserves to be accurate. By avoiding these mistakes, you honor your ancestors by taking the time to get their story right. You're not just building a tree, you're piecing together their world and finding your true place in it. Now, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever been led astray by one of these mistakes? Did you have a DNA surprise that changed everything? Did you share your story? Did you share your story in the comments below? Please do. Your experience might be the very thing that helps someone else on their journey. And please remember to like and subscribe and help support this channel so that I can continue to bring these great tips to you. So thanks for watching. Happy researching. This again is Eric with Trace Your New England Roots, where history starts with your family.